Hello, Steve White, Trekway89 for Steve Arts 89. Well, another wrong direction for Star Trek. IDW is doing a year-long series of the Next Gen Mirror Universe series. This is just pointless. The Mirror Universe is the exact opposite of Star Trek and what Star Trek should be. As a one-off episode, like in the original series, it was fine. But to replace Star Trek with it and to make it the prime universe and have a whole year-long series, basically Star Trek for the year is going to be Mirror Universe. So it's not Star Trek. Star Trek, this is not what people want. And I don't understand this push to kill Star Trek and make it dark and evil and bad. And it seems to be a real political thing. It's like Star Trek was this left... Sorry. Yes. I get my left and right confused sometimes when I'm talking about American politics. But yeah, Star Trek was this left-wing liberal show, and there's this real constant push to make it right-wing, to make it violent, militaristic, warlike, dark, negative, like, you know, the Republicans and the conspiracy theorists from, you know, that anonymous group who may be linked to Q. I don't know. And this seems to be a real example of that, like Star Trek Discovery, and the irony of the fact that the production team are so left-wing that they want to create this woke Star Trek, but yet they ended up creating this absolute right-wing friendly show that is dark and had cannibalism and slavery and rape and murder and nudity and swearing and discrimination and worker class people in society, and just destroying Starfleet and making it this evil. They just did everything. It's just bizarre. I cannot fathom how Star Trek has turned into what it is and how these people have created it and made it into what it is. But a perfect example of it is IDW doing a full year, a permanent like Star Trek comic of Mirror Universe, because it's not Star Trek. It's the absolute opposite of Star Trek, and how they keep going in the opposite direction and pandering to these people who hate Star Trek. They like the Mirror Universe though, because it's the complete opposite. It's exactly what they believe the world is: dark, cynical, nihilistic. That's not Star Trek, and that's not what I want from Star Trek. When I read a Star Trek comic, when I watch a Star Trek show, I want an optimistic exploration of the future and humanity and, you know, intelligence. And what I don't want is some dumb, belligerent, violent, dark, nihilistic, cynical universe, which is like today but worse. I mean, that's not what Star Trek is. So how they keep going in this direction, I don't understand. I get it as a little trivial thing, like, oh, that was a fun episode, how about we do a little sequel comic? That's fine, they've done that a few times. But to turn it into Star Trek and make it the main, the centre, the main show basically, is just, I don't get how this keeps happening. It starts in August, starts with Zero, issue 0, so it's a 13 parts, so it's going to go for a whole year. So you have the August issue, which is going to be 0, and then from the next month it's going to be 12 issues straight, so a whole year of it. Now, they just spent 2 years doing Star Trek, the original series, season 5 basically, which was the direction they should have been going in, and they should have stayed in. There's no reason why they can't just do continued episodes of Star Trek, the original series. I don't know why they have to like go, well, we did 4th year, now we're doing 5th year, and now we'll run out of Star Trek stories. No, you can do a series based in the original Star Trek that takes part in any part of it, whether it's all throughout it or just going through over time, or whether it's focusing on the first year, because a lot of people don't realise the first year isn't covered in the original Star Trek. They jump a year from the first pilot to the first episode of Star Trek. That's why we see Dr. McCoy and Uhura, they've all arrived because they weren't there in the original pilot, because they weren't on the ship, and it took a while for them to get to know each other and to form the relationships. Instead of spending a year building that, they just jumped a year. Now, part of that was to do with the pilots and all that as well. But and that's why a lot of people get confused and think that there was no 4th or 5th year of the original Star Trek, when there kind of was. Season 1 wasn't what was season 2, was the 2nd year. And of course, the show was filmed over 4 years, and the series covers almost 4 years. So they do get into they do go through the 4th year. The 3rd year is the 4th year, and the 5th year is sort of the end of the 3rd season where they get into that. So Star Trek did cover the 5 years of the 5-year mission, basically. Not fully though. They didn't have a full ending. There should have been another season, which would have been like, you know, the whole season, the finish of the season 5, the end of the whole journey and everything. That didn't happen. Well, it did on Star Trek Continues, but you know. So yeah, I just don't understand why. I mean, I do understand, but I hate the fact that they keep trying to make Star Trek into this complete opposite of what it is, and they go in that direction. They did it on Discovery, where they spent half the season basically in the mirror universe, and just made the series so dark that it may as well have been a mirror series. I'm just sick of it. I want them to go back in the direction of Star Trek. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks. Bye.